Hey, my friends. Welcome to Coffee, Crafting, and Cats with the Ginger Cat Lady. I'm Pam, the Ginger Cat Lady. Harley, the Ginger Cat, is all curled up in his bed, sound asleep. Today I'm participating in hashtag Give a Scrap. It's a hop that is sponsored by Angela at the Traveling Crafter. She does this every year as a celebration, not only for her birthday, but a celebration of Earth Day. And one way that she likes to give back to our earth is by using up scraps and not creating more landfill. So join me in learning how I store and use my scraps in my junk journals. Before I actually get into showing you what I make with my scraps, I wanted to show you how I store my scraps. And this is where I store my scraps, which is located right next to where I do my recordings daily, which is right here on this table. So my scraps are located in this tower right here. All right, so the first kind of scraps I have are book page, music scraps, music paper, scraps that I have torn into smaller pieces or cut into smaller pieces so that they can be used to make masterboards. I prefer to have my masterboards be all neutral colors and then add color to them when I get ready to use them. My next drawer is just white and craft colored scraps that are typically used for belly bands, inside of pockets, anything like that. These are what I call my happy scraps, and happy scraps are just scraps that have been dumped into a tub and spray and paint squirted into it and then mix it all around, and you make some wonderful scraps to include in clusters. This is my cluster drawer, and typically everything in here are little smaller pieces that can be used to make clusters, and it includes book page, different colored papers, neutral colors, music paper, packaging, anything that can be used to make a cluster. The next drawer is my book page drawer. It has music paper, ledger, book page, magazine, newspaper, anything that basically has text on it. My next drawer down is my neutrals drawer, and in my neutrals drawer, a little bit bigger papers, but they're all neutral. Larger pieces, this should actually be up in my cluster drawer. Just bigger pieces of paper that are neutral. Coffee paper, Amazon packaging, coffee filters, anything that's a neutral color that can be used to decorate a page, create a pocket, a cluster, whatever. And the last drawer that is for scraps is my colored scraps drawer. And in my colored scraps, I have anything and everything that has color to it. Now, this one I don't reach for as much, but when I get ready to do a project, I go to this drawer, pull out the colors that are going to match whatever project I'm working on, and then put those with the project so I can include them along with any of the scraps in my other drawers. I hope this gives you an idea of how you can store and better use the scraps that you create while you're creating a junk journal. So one of my favorite ways to use scraps is using up strips. And when I create things with book page, I don't like all of the extra border around the outside. So I tear those off and then I keep them. And the reason I keep them is to do things like this. So one thing I enjoy doing is stitching down the middle. And I have a tub here of just all different sizes of strips that I have stitched down the middle. Long, thin, fat. Some of them have text on them. This is an example that was given to me by the wonderful Carrie over at the Paper Monkey. I have a couple of them in here from her. And then the other thing that I enjoy doing is taking those strips and punching them. And so I have a couple different punches I like to use. I have this one, which is looks like it came from a spiral binder. And here is one that I did not do very well. Here's one with a kind of a scalloped looking border. and this one is a scallop border that's more of a pointy design. So those are the 3 styles that I like to use. This is a side tuck that I made. It's just a piece of scrap that I had stitched down the middle and glued on the side to create a side tuck. In this example, it was used as part of a cluster. See, I had one marked out. Here is another example of just being used in a cluster. And a cluster again. This one's used in a cluster again. Here's one that is a piece of book page that I punched and used in a cluster. Here's a little strip of the scallop that's been used in the cluster. Another example of a strip of the in a cluster. And then another piece of book page that has been punched and used in a cluster as well. So a lot of my clusters will include little strips with the stitching or the punches in them. Recently, I started the 100-Day Project, and my goal was to learn how to make clusters because I don't feel like I'm really the best at making them, or I didn't feel like. So these clusters, each of these clusters was made using scraps from that little tiny scrap bin or the other scrap bins that I have that I showed you. Oops, that was upside down, sorry. So this book contains a lot of clusters that I have created using specifically just scraps. So we have right here on the front page scraps that are made from different clusters in that drawer. And that was used to decorate a pocket. Here again, we've used it to decorate a pocket. This example, I've used the cluster just to stick it on the corner of a page. This one is to just decorate a page as well. Decorating an envelope. And on this side, decorating the page. And decorating a guest check that's being used as a, just as a journaling spot in the journal. So clusters is one way to really use up those scraps. And I tend to make mine all neutral so that I can pre-make them and then add color to them using whatever color I'm using in the journal that I'm using at the time. So another thing I like to do is to make Masterboards so that I have a lot of pre-made or mass-made journal cards. So here's some examples of some journal cards that have been made using a Masterboard. This one has a lot of different kinds of things on it. However, my preferred way is to make them like this, where they're a lot neater looking. I have difficulty when they're like really busy looking, but so there's one way for journal cards. I also enjoy making tags out of them. These are some smaller tags that I have made using Masterboard style. And then here's some larger tags that I've used that were Masterboards and then stamped and inked and stitched together. And these were Masterboards actually made on some sentence strips. I was a teacher and I used a bunch of sentence strips that I had and made Masterboards out of them. So an example of using those in a journal is, these are ones that I have decorated and placed inside this journal. Typically, I'll just, like this one, I just added another piece of, this was a piece of scrapbook paper and a label and a die cut flower that I used my watercolor pencils on and then added a little bit of gloss or matte, not gloss, semi-gloss Mod Podge to it. And then the other way is typically just to add a cluster to them. Masterboards are a fantastic way to use up your scraps. So another great way of using your scraps up, especially those little ones that you don't want to throw away that you know you could use. Another way to use those is to make snippet strips. I tend to make my snippet strips as I need them. I don't really make them in advance. However, because of Mass Make March recently, I did make a whole bunch of snippet strips using just the scraps in my little scrap box. So there's these are all different kinds of little snippet strips that I have made just recently. And these are all made on empty, or not empty, but these are scraps from a project that I had made that I used some craft paper on and cut, they were the end cuts from the craft paper, and every single one of these is made off of one of those end cuts of craft paper. So there's some thinner ones, there's some longer ones that are thicker. And I've even used, as an example, this one and this one both have these little pieces here. Came from, I know you can't see them really well, but let me see if I can get closer to the camera. There we go. The little pieces that you're seeing there, the little brown, darker brown pieces, those came from tearing a book apart. And it was just the little parts that were left in the binding of the book that I tore out and used as well. And here's another example of a snippet strip. Another fun way to use offcuts and scraps that are strips is to make ruffles. And I just take these and and you can see that they're all it's different kinds of paper. This is obviously the back side, but this is just different kinds of paper that I stuck under the needle of the sewing machine and just kind of pushed with my finger and folded it up a little bit and made this snippet roll. And I use these in a couple different ways in my journals. This is a belly band. This one is also a belly band. And finally, here's another way. This one was just a little strip of, I had showed you this before with the stitch up the middle, but there's also a ruffle under here as well. Another fun way to use up your little scraps is to make hidden paper clips. This was just made with some scraps that were folded over the top of the paper clip. Here's another example. With this one, I used some tags and labels as well, but the background itself and this little piece here are made from scraps. And recently during Mass Make March, I went through and used up all my long thin scraps and made a bunch of different kinds of paper clips. So these are just scraps from those drawers. This one I stamped on, and there's two different kinds in here. There's this one that just has the paper folded on both sides of it, and then this one has the paper with longer strips that paper is just folded over top of. These will be decorated with clusters and that kind of thing. On this paper clip, I used a scrap and punched it into cut it into a tab, and then put the paper clip on, and it's used to hold down. This was a strip of scrapbook paper, or a scrap of scrapbook paper left over from another project. And this paper clip just holds that closed. The last way that I like to use my scraps is to use them to create my own labels. So I will take different colors of scraps like these and use the various stamps I have to make my own little like ephemera to use. And this whole drawer right here has been created by doing that. This is actually a scrap from a sheet music that I cut out. I used this stamp and stamped it on, this was from a book. I made my own stamp from that. This was cut from a scrap of a piece of ledger, so a label can be made out of it. The rest of these are all just various scraps that I have that I took stamps and stamped them onto different kinds of paper and then cut them out so that I have my own labels. So those are all the ways that I like to use my scraps. And I hope that you have learned at least something about how to store scraps or different ways that you can use your scraps to create things for your junk journals. Thank you to Angela at The Traveling Crafter for allowing me to participate in hashtag Give a Scrap this year. And I really look forward to being able to join in future years. Also check out the hashtag to see what other creators have created using just scraps. There's also a link to all of the other participants in my description box below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, share it with a crafty friend, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want more ideas like this, make sure to check out the video I've got right here on the screen. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It means more than you know. And as always, may your scraps be endless and your glue never dry. See you in the next one. Bye.